States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is to approve or amend tonight's agenda, and I would like to entertain a motion to amend it to include under unfinished business, White Lake Ambulance Authority appeal update as item A, as item B, the Parks and Rec motion from the October meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, that brings us to our first segment of public comment. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? All right. Moving on, the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
We'll do a roll call vote. Is there any discussion on any of the items under the consent agenda?
Under 3, have you talked to Steve? Is he happy with everything?
He is very happy. Wanted me to offer thanks to all of you for your confidence
I
in
talked
him.
to him today and told him how nice it looked around here. The leaves are out of here.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's the
been here
first
every day.
time, and he said, I'm doing my best. And I said, you're doing a good job.
Good. That's nice to take the time to do that. Thank you. Any other comments? If not, roll call vote. Board Member Bard?
Yes.
Treasurer Beagle? Yes. Board Member Cisneros?
Yes.
Clerk Roma?
Yes.
Board Member Holman?
Yes.
Board Member Hampel?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. That brings us to unfinished business. We'll start with the White Lake Ambulance Authority, just an update. As many of you may recall, Fruitland Township filed an appeal against the monetary judgment that was ruled in the plaintiff's favor, but there was actually 2 of them. The trial court amended the judgment over the defendant's objection. We objected to the amendment, and so we filed an appeal, and we were granted the appeal. And that was on October 23rd. And on November 14th, we paid the judgment amount in the amount of $153,860. And hopefully this matter is concluded. So,
Good deal.
anybody want to add to that? I wasn't here when this all started, so I came in on the tail end of it, but it's just good to have it done with.
So we're not going to hear anything else from now on?
Hopefully not.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you that they did file an appeal, and it was denied by the Court of Appeals. So hopefully this is done and over with, which is why we paid the amount. All right. Next item is the Parks and Rec motion from the October meeting. Our legal counsel has advised that we add this to the agenda tonight.
I'll make a motion to not accept the motion passed by the Parks and Recreation Commission after October, I think it was 9th, 2018 meeting, because taking such action does not alleviate the commission of its ultimate responsibility for the disc golf course and its continuing authority to maintain, manage, and control all township properties designated for park purposes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Anybody have anything?
That we're not accepting what they want to give it to us, and we're saying no, right?
Correct.
Wonderful.
Okay.
That's a good motion.
Okay. There being no further discussion, I'll call for the question. Clerk Roma?
Yes.
Board Member Holman?
Yes.
Board Member Bard?
Yes.
Board Member Cisneros?
Yes.
Board Member Hampel?
Yes.
Treasurer Beagle? Yes. And I vote yes. Motion carries. All right, moving on to a land division request for lot 25 of Butterfield Woods. We reviewed this a little bit at our work session, and this has been brought to us because it is a division in a subdivision, and our zoning administrator, Val Jensen, has suggested that he recommended that we approve it. There really was no reason not to approve it, basically, is what he said.
I'll make a motion to approve the land request of Leslie Butterfield on behalf of Eric Harsh, who's here in our audience tonight.
I'll second it.
Okay, I won't finish the motion then, if you're okay with it.
Is there any discussion? Do you have any questions? Since he's here, we can ask him questions. Do we have any?
Do you need anything in writing from us?
I don't need anything writing, I just want to know what's the next stick I chase. I'd have to go to the county then and get the parcel number switched, or?
No, you have to apply for the land division. Now that we've granted you the option for a land division, now you have to actually apply for it, and that's with Val here at the township. Val will notify the county at which time he approves the
I'll be in tomorrow.
splits. All right, good. Yes, he's here tomorrow.
Yeah.
We didn't take a vote.
Yep. All right, let's do a roll call vote. Clerk Brillma?
Yes.
Board Member Bard?
Yes.
Treasurer Beagle?
Yes.
Board Member Hample? Yes. Board Member Cisneros?
Yes.
Board Member Holman?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. That brings us to the next segment of public comment. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? There being none, we'll move on to announcements and communications. I included in your packet a memorandum from our attorney regarding the new recreational marijuana initiative. We've also received I received an email, Carolyn's received 2 calls asking us to adopt an ordinance banning recreational facilities. We can only ban the facilities by law they can have. I think I heard on the news this morning up to 12 plants, and they can smoke it wherever. They cannot smoke it on public land. I know that. So I'm bringing it to you for a decision. If we want our township attorney to draft an ordinance prohibiting recreational marijuana facilities.
Well, I think we got 2 options. One of them is to postpone this hearing for a later date. I mean, we got about a year and a half on this this marijuana, recreational marijuana, for the state to really put down the rules and regulations that are going to be applied to all this. So I'm saying that now we have that, I think we should have a public hearing so that the township people are aware of what we're doing as well. My opinion is.
Okay, when
Before we
Kevin called,
decide to pop anything on.
I read that as well, that it'll be a year before the state has their rules about governing these facilities and
Right.
the do's and don'ts and stuff. But when Kevin sent this to me, he said we needed to take action now or in December. We had to take it by January 1st. That's what he told me, but I'm not sure where he got that
That
from.
wasn't the case.
I know, he's our attorney.
It says right here,
I know
under the
that.
ballot initiative that passed on November 6th, every Michigan community must allow marijuana businesses as of January 2019. So we have till January to decide if we're going to allow that or not. Either opt in or you opt out.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I talked to the Michigan Township Association today, and they specifically, Mike, specifically told me that you really don't have to do anything yet. He said, we got a year and a half. He says, if they come to you for applications, permits, or whatever, all you have to do is tell them that we haven't adopted an ordinance on it, and we're going to wait till the rules and regulations come out. And I feel that, I don't think it's the right time for us to decide whether we're going to ban it today or opt to move it on to a later date.
No, but let's go back to 2013 when the medical marijuana came out. We were very strong on an ordinance of banning those, so why would you not want to ban recreational facilities here in our township?
Because we all have an opinion on that. whether we want it or not.
Oh, we've had 3 people already contact us asking us
I know that,
to
but we
take some
don't
action.
have to answer them, because we don't have the rules and regulations yet, and according to the federal government, it's still illegal to begin
I
with.
like to listen to all the residents when they contact me, so it's on
I
him
know that.
for that reason, as well as the attorney contacting me saying that we need to do this by January 1st.
Well, I'm not for having,
I'm not
So,
even,
yeah, I'm just taking a poll.
no, I say,
Okay.
if you're taking a poll, I'm not for it.
Yeah, don't want to take any action because we don't have anything in front of us to take action on
No,
at this
we don't.
point. Mike, what do you feel?
I don't want it either.
Okay, Manny would like us to wait. Terry?
Well, I would like us to wait until the rules and regulations are set down so we have something to really decide about. Right now, it's just a yes or no whether we want it. But I think, like Manny said, we need to listen to our public and see what opinions they offer too.
I mean, I think, Terry, I'm also saying that if the township says we want it, we're here to do what's best for the township. If they say we want it, and we tell them, no, you can't have it.
Well, we've done that with other things in this
Why
township.
should it? But this was a major issue.
Well, this was a major issue too.
That's my feeling.
Okay.
Do we have a deadline when we have to make this decision? Is it the end of January or is it?
Well, according to Kevin, it's by January 1st.
So we can discuss this with Kevin at the work session
Yes.
next month. and-
Yes. Yeah, and we don't have to take it any further if we don't want to.
And
But
when I asked the Muskegon Township Association today, is there was anything that was on the deadline for January 1st or 2nd,
I
they
got it.
specifically told me, no,
Yeah.
there's nothing you have to do by January 1st. I just know what this is.
Yeah, I know. And I've got this handbook that I downloaded off their website.
Marijuana in our
Question,
township.
Carolyn, do we know how this township voted on that issue?
it was 45% no, 55% yes, but it was only 2,700 out of 4,400 registered
Our
voters.
sheet's gonna smoke.
About half or less.
So if you take it from those that voted, but you don't know because of the ones that didn't vote, how they would. So it's really, you go by the vote, it was 45-55. If you go by total registered voters.
So I don't know their opportunity to vote.
I mean, even the new governor approved, voted yes. Yes.
But I don't know why you want recreational marijuana. And this, I mean, medical, fine, but
There was
marijuana.
Well, we can't prohibit it.
There was 2 buildings in Muskegon, the city of Muskegon, that the city had been trying to sell, can't even give them away. From what I heard last week or so, a firm from Detroit came and bought them and paid $250,000 for each one of them. Guess what they're gonna do?
Is it a growing facility or a selling facility?
They're not gonna have
You're talking the ones off Sherman,
Are they big buildings?
something.
the buildings off Sherman?
I don't know which one. All I heard was just there were a couple of buildings that were up for sale. They wouldn't sell for $1. And some firm in Detroit came and swallowed them up. Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame. I certainly I don't want to be part of a community that recognizes that as being,
I don't even,
condoning it, but that's my personal feeling.
I'm on the same
52
page.
years old, I haven't tried it once, and I don't plan on the next 52 years ever trying it, so. So I don't want to run my children, my grandchildren.
Without marijuana in their mouth.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in this. Anyone that just like copy me, I'd make one for you.
We have
So,
so even do something in December.
Right, I just need to know if I'm going to bring it back in December. So, Melissa, what's your vote? Bring it back or?
I would like to hear, I mean, I know we got this memo from Kevin, but if he's going to be at our December work session, I think, I would like to hear more about what he has to say about it.
Okay.
Him and Manny's.
Are you for him preparing an ordinance or not?
Oh, that's what you're asking me. I've read some online, I mean, sure.
Okay. And again, we don't have to adopt it. At least we can just be proactive and have it ready in case we decide that we need to do this rather than sitting back, but
I also think another good idea is to have our state representative here so he can educate us on what's going on at the state level as far as the rules and regulations. Mr. Sable.
okay. I can invite him.
Yeah.
All right, and Carolyn, what's your You have a problem with him drafting an ordinance?
No, I'm all for it.
Okay,
Opting out.
all right. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Kevin to prepare something for our work session in December prohibiting recreational facilities. Again, we can't prohibit the use of because that,
And if he does draft an ordinance, are we going to inform the township as to what we're going to be reading this ordinance?
you know what, I'm going to be sending out an e-newsletter this week if I can get my computer to work. My computer's giving me all kinds of problems.
I'd like to inform the township.
Yeah, I'll send something out in that and ask people, to please send their comments or thoughts.
Yeah.
And we can take them under consideration when we make a decision. Okay, awesome.
So
All right.
the opt-out is that we're gonna opt out of having grow facilities here,
Yes.
having facilities to sell, or both?
Dispensaries and grow facilities.
Okay.
Can I read this to you?
Yeah,
The two ordinances that if we say no, okay, we need to opt out of allowing marijuana establishments under the new state law. The other ordinance is to amend our township zoning ordinance for recreation, for retailers that may want to open up for business. And they cannot open it, I was surprised with this, that they cannot open up for business until 2020,
yeah, I read that.
as of the state legislature needs to craft policies and regulations.
Okay.
So you're saying that MTA
My
report,
feeling won't change.
I understand. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that you're talking about opting out, and this is what, some of the things that we need to do. But, no, I respect your feelings.
Yeah, Terry,
That's
what
fine.
you're saying,
well, I just like to be better educated about what's happening at the state level here. It sounds like they've already got laws or rules about when a retail business can actually open. Is that part of the new?
it's going to be part of the licensing portion of it. They've got to get their attorneys together and make decisions on licensing and stuff.
And Mike from the MTA has said that he wasn't even aware also as to what they really wanted to put in black and white as to how they're going to regulate all this stuff. They don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't prepare it well for the vote, so.
But it's here.
Okay. Any other announcements, communications?
I guess I've got just one thing I'd like to say at this point.
Okay.
Probably not the right time to say it. It's overdue. We're talking about marijuana here. We're talking about we should let the township public know about it. It just seems very strange to me, marijuana is not that important. And yet we let a disc golf course come in here, be built, and nobody knew anything about it till it was up and running. It doesn't make sense to me, it never will make sense to me, and I think we should let the people know about that. But everybody sat here and voted for it, and you too, Mike. I mean,
That's Mike.
and nobody cared about that. And to me, this is worse than the golf course.
We didn't vote for the disc golf course. We voted to give
The
them
money,
money.
well, yeah, but
There's a difference between
But the
that.
people didn't know it. There was no communication to the public about that, how the money was being spent on that. That just was 2 weeks it was done, 2 months ago. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. Anybody else have any other comments?
I do. My comments related to what Mary Ann just said and what Manny has said, and that is, I want to thank you for allowing me to open a discussion of last week's work session about setting up town hall meetings. You said that, and I put some things on paper because I realized when I presented it, I was very brief and I left out a lot of things that I wanted to say, so I just hope that you'll take this and read it. It's printed on
There's not enough here. I'll share with you.
recycled paper. Oh, I forgot which one.
Oh, okay.
And just thought for maybe our next work session, we could discuss it.
Not being right.
And then I also just want, is this announcement time?
Yeah, this,
Just announce that the Friends of the Fruitland Township Trail are planning our next meeting on November 27th here at Township Hall, and everyone's invited to come to that to help make decisions like most of the meetings have been.
Terry, could you talk into your microphone that's
Oh,
working now so people can hear you? Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to announce that next Tuesday, the 27th, we are having our next Friends of the Fruitland Township multi-use trail meeting here. It's open to the public, and we'd like everyone to come and share their opinions and help make decisions about trail development here in the township. So it's 6:30 here, hopefully. And along with that, I know that myself and 3 other members of our friends group sent letters to Marcia. I'm not sure everybody had a chance to read those letters. They were on the table at work session, but I would just like everybody to have a copy of my letter at least, and I can probably get copies of the other letters too, but just so you have a chance to
I've
read
got
them.
them if anyone would like copies of them. They basically, the 2 letters were pretty,
Short.
almost identical.
Yeah, so this,
And, yeah, the cards that they sent were identical.
well, I hope this kind of sums up the other letters as well, but
Thank you.
thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a couple things.
Okay, Melissa?
The tax foreclosure parcel that we discussed at our work session on Weber Road. I talked to the county and he suggests that we let it go back to the land bank and let the land bank contact the neighboring landowners. And so I will, Carolyn and I, with your permission, will get a letter written to the county saying that we do not want this parcel, and then once it goes into the land bank, I will contact Tim Bridges, who is in charge of the land bank, and let him know that it's a non-buildable lot and that maybe the neighboring landowner would be interested.
Nice to get some taxes from it.
And also, we recently received our bills for the drain projects for both, actually all 3, the Mason, Partridge, and Sachs drain. On those bills, I realize that we're being charged interest on these bills now, and so I've been in contact with the drain commissioner to find out. We never were aware that there was going to be interest, so what was going on, what the interest rate was, and if we could pay them off early so that we didn't incur all of the interest. And we can pay them off early. The total balance is right around $80,000 plus interest.
For all 3?
For all 3.
Cool.
Yep. The interest rate is just under 4%. I think it's 3.92 and maybe 3.74 on the other ones. So that's just something that we need to think about. I think Carolyn calculated out it was like $20,000 in interest that we could end up saving over the 7 and 10 year span of these. So maybe next meeting, if you guys think that that's a good idea to pay those off early, I can get some numbers from Stephanie, the Deputy Drain Commissioner, and we can get those paid off so that we don't have a ridiculous amount of interest. Had we known that we were going to be charged interest, we could have paid them up front. We were never given that option. Excuse me, we were never given that option, so.
How can they do that all of a sudden, just do it and not ever tell you that, oh, that's kind of.
I don't know, the numbers aren't jiving with what it says on one paper to what they're actually populating out, so
And contacting them
it's
less
been a nightmare.
2 days, 2 Friday is
They're working out of the office.
so we haven't been able to reach them. And then lastly, keep an eye out for your tax bills, they'll be going out. November 30th, I know everybody loves to hear that, but I just wanted to let you know.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
I just wanted to report because I was unable to be at the last regular meeting due to my daughter being born. I had received August, September, and now October's PIMS reports. So altogether, for August, September, and October, we had 23 property checks, 196 calls for service, 42 traffic stops, 41 reports, and 7 traffic crashes. So I'll place these on file if anyone wants to see them for a year. So,
Is that for the 3 month total?
3 months. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Good.
No?
Okay.
Who supported it? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Wow. Thank you, everybody.